Hey there, this is Darren, founder of Denzity. Sit back and enjoy this Denzity Lens episode, where we distill the best advice from digital experts and help real estate professionals like you to build an effective online presence and become the best version of yourself. This is one of the many parts of the full interview we had with RHK, our trusted marketing agency to give you a broad stroke on digital marketing, specifically to the real estate sector. We break the episodes up so you can find specific titles that may interest you. You can find the full interview and more about the guests in the show notes or our blog, www.denzity.io/blog. As always, you can find everything we mentioned in this episode in the show notes, including our thoughts, more about the guests, and all the tips and tricks. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button like you mean it to get our regular updates. Now, take a deep breath and buckle up for the show. Hope you enjoy.
So KPI is actually just really performance indicators for us to kind of measure how effective our campaigns are. And having a good KPI is actually very fundamental in kind of achieving really good marketing success. A lot of times, I think the most common mistake for a lot of management and a lot of owners is that they set the KPI, they're looking at the end, which is obviously the sales. What drives the company forward is profit. But before we do that, I mentioned earlier with the funneling, each funnel should have its own KPI. And basically, if anything goes wrong in between, you can quickly go back and trace back to that spot and then fix it. In a sense, for example, if the website is very difficult to navigate and people just leave right away. So obviously you're not going to get sales. But obviously a lot of common mistake is why is no one going to our website? Because obviously if you go back up the funnel, there's something wrong with your website. So people are leaving. So, once they actually fix the website, you fix that KPI, and then you go on to the next one. Is it product pricing? Is it because it's not unique enough? So I think having a KPI is good, but you just don't look at the end results. You have to look at each step of the way, and then make sure you hit all the KPIs along the funnel, and then you'll see where the problem is, and then you can go fix it.
So let's say I elaborate a bit better, right? In terms of I want to use a case study in terms of let's say I throw this thing for you, right? My funnel, for example, social media, the interest level, going towards desire, which is the blog post, and get towards your homepage, for example.
Yep.
What is the KPI to think about when that transitions? What is the KPI you can set for yourself as a team, and think about what is other type of different KPI that you can consider as well?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I think just right off the bat, maybe for your social media, I think awareness would be a really good KPI, just to see how many people are reaching you through your social media. So once they have that intention, they go to your blogs to read more about it. So maybe the time spent on your blog, or maybe the number of blogs they've read, that could be another KPI to kind of measure the success of each blog. And then going to the website, so you can measure, did they click on the actual, call to action buttons? Did they actually, submit a lead? So that's another KPI I can set. So at each stage, you can tell the KPI is very different, but then it's very specific for that stage. I wouldn't expect people to set KPIs for sales in the social media, but that's what a lot of people do, because they're social media should drive sales. Yes and no. That's a question depending on your product or your sales cycle. But I think at the end of the day, you have to set realistic KPIs at each stage of the funnel.
So it's not only about the thumbs up and hearts, right?
Yeah, it's all about the thumbs up and hearts, and maybe you just buy that. But yeah, definitely, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to it than just the hearts.
For Patrick, right? Let's say the real estate guys, common mistake, and I think we should do another show just called "Common Mistake Real Estate Guys Wake Up," right? So what is the KPI that you think that another way looking at it, that a lot of people think that's the KPI, but it can be looked at a different way to better measure?
Wow, that is a good question, and also a very difficult question. I think the management or the owners, they always drive for sales. So sales is always their KPI, but at the same time, like what Andrew mentioned, I think we can also measure duration time, the bounce rate, or these kind of matrix you can find in Google Analytics. It's very useful to justify or to measure your quality of audience. Do they spend enough time on your website, or do they just come to your website and then bounce out? Meaning that they just come here for one page and they leave. So I think this kind of matrix can also be the KPI for the consideration.
Thanks for watching. You know, majority of you don't stick around this far. So we're flattered and truly appreciate your attention. To return the favor, let us tell you our thought on this episode. This is probably the best segment within the full interview. Setting the right KPIs is very important, and it will affect your definition of success in your digital marketing effort. A lot of my friends in real estate and traditional businesses care about the KPIs that might not be helpful in quantifying the effort, such as the number of likes or hearts, and the number of people who land on the website. There are a lot more nuance. Questions like how you can quantify the quality of the content on each page, and which areas and segments that your audience tend to stick around longer, can give you a better picture on your audience's preferences and give you feedback on how to improve different aspects of your marketing efforts. We have a more detailed version of our thoughts in the show notes. Beside that, you can find more about the guests and all the tips and tricks we have mentioned in the show note too. Well, what do you think? Let us know in the comment section. Fun fact, do you know that more than 85% of you have subscribed to this show yet? Subscribe now to keep getting good stuff from us. Thanks for watching. What do you think of this episode? Please let us know in the comment below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button to keep in touch with us for upcoming videos. But before we go, I want to give a big shout out to Patina Design Lab. They're the one who help us in making our brand, our direction, as well as these videos. They are a strategic design consultancy firm that help businesses with a wide range of design services, from industrial design, branding, graphic design, art direction, content creation, and many more. They are a very talented bunch, and I urge you to check out their website for their work. That's all for today, and see you next time. Cheers.